So it's safe to say that you are knee-deep in episodic survival horror games right now.
Yes.
You're getting your survival horror in little baby chunks.
Yep.
But you seem to like it that way. So I've played a little bit of The Assignment, which is going to be in 3 parts, but you said not to be too excited about the last one, that it's like mini games or something?
Well, the last part sounds amazing. You play as the keeper, so the safe head, and the only word we ever heard about it was when they were announcing the plan for the whole expansion packs, was that his is very different. It's mini game focused, so whatever that entails.
But so that's like his assignment given by someone.
Yeah, maybe. I don't even know if it's story driven or not.
Yeah,
but that would be really cool.
Yeah, it'd be weird to think of. Kind of like the tyrant, or kind of like the nemesis, like something that just keeps like, I never really thought about it being sentient, but like maybe there could be a story there. Yeah. And the thing that's interesting about The Assignment, which I have not finished, so you got some fun spoilers for me potentially, is it is about the one character that I had the most questions about following, finishing The Evil Within. Just kind of like, okay, but yeah, what happened with her? Like, what was her big thing? And, seemed like the perfect, like almost like an Ada Wong type character of like, what was she doing the whole time? So it's definitely something Mikami has dabbled with before. Yeah. So yeah, you're just like bursting at the seams, man.
I know, it's so frustrating because I feel like Evil Within itself was underappreciated, and now this DLC comes out, and it is phenomenal, not just because I'm a fanboy and biased and love survival horror, but because of what it does to not only the story, but the gameplay. It is everything a DLC should be, and no one is talking about it. I just want to talk about it. So like, the story alone is cool because, again, like you said, you are learning the mystery. It is adding meaningful context to everything that was the Evil Within, even not overtly even. You'll go to certain locations and you'll put it together. You'll say, oh, that's why that's there. Oh, that's why in Evil Within I went there. This is what all this is. And then the gameplay. It is stealth focused. It is the first time I have been truly scared out of my mind since PT. Creeping through.
It's interesting the difference between going from the lantern, which is kind of like magically like glued to your hip in Evil Within, and having this like constant light source that you can rely on, and specifically having the flashlight like in her hand and being able to like point it at stuff.
Yeah, and how it interacts with the environments. Yeah. Like there's secret codes around the environment that you can flash, and the code will appear on the wall, and then you'll go and enter it into the safe, and that unlocks more lore.
We didn't do a Just Play. I'm going to see if I can get a review done before the end of the week, but I might not have time for this. But I was also going to cover Valley of the Yetis, which was the expansion that came to Far Cry. Yeah. And my quick review to you when I came in after I played The Assignment was that like I finished Valley of the Yetis and was like, okay, that was forgettable. Like it was fun to play it, but like as far as the story is concerned, whether you want to dig into the story of Far Cry 4 or not, it didn't really affect anything, or there was no new revelations or anything. Yeah. And then just 10 minutes into The Assignment, I could feel the weight of like, oh, this is actually going to answer a lot of questions for me. And it is, without really spoiling anything, Evil Within is really like a nightmare. Like you're kind of going through all of these different situations and being thrown into all these different scenes and having it not, make sense initially contextually about like how are all of these different vignettes tying together. And so it's really curious to see where they would take that with DLC, where you would add like other characters, and if she's seeing something and I don't necessarily remember, I'm like, wait, that they weren't in that room, or that didn't play out the way it did in the game. Like that's not an oversight. That could be, her perception of it. So yeah, without getting into spoilers, like, did you feel there were fun new questions that just kind of like are blowing your mind about where the whole story sets up, or did they actually fill in a lot of holes for you as far as questions you needed answered?
So they filled in a couple subtle things. And her role in all of it is somewhat answered. I mean, again, not to spoil it, but it's clearly set up for part 2, so they're holding back. They're not showing all their cards, but I mean, even the very beginning, right when you start it and you see a little bit of Mobius and stuff, just that alone is putting everything into greater context.
Because your character is kind of thrown into everything, and that's kind of like the perfect character to have for Evil Within, because you don't have a history of a lot of these people, so it's just like everybody that you're meeting is like, is this person actually lying to me, or is this person really there, or am I just like imagining them, or like are they a manifestation of whatever is powering and making all this stuff happen. How do you feel about episodic survival horror? Is that working out for you? I mean, that seems to be an interesting trend.
Yeah, I mean, they did it with Revelations 2, and it worked really well. I used to like binge watching TV back in the day, and I have since moved away from that. And I want to compare that to episodic video games, because when you play it week to week, or you wait a couple weeks to play it, and you think about it, and you let it sit on your mind, and let it engulf your every being, it just makes it more impactful when you get to go back in, instead of just binging it all through, just consuming it, it's done. But being able to, now, especially with Evil Within after part 1, I have all these questions. I can't stop thinking about it. I want to know answers, and it's just going to make, hopping into part 2 that much more satisfying.
Do you think setting something up episodically is an interesting way to talk to fans and let them know this is going to be a story-based thing? It's like, I think a lot of people have been kind of burnt out lately on season passes. But to me, like, the most valuable season passes are something like Walking Dead or Game of Thrones or anything like Telltale does. You're just like, I need I want like Game of Thrones. I
feel like that's a little
I didn't even
different.
think about it. I'm like, I know I want all of these, even though I have no idea what the themes are going to be for the ones later, because it's not like which one's a mode, which one's weapons, which one's skins, which one's actually
it's like you're just buying the
thing.
game itself.
Right. Yeah, so. Whereas like for this, that they're all going to be different themed things. They're going to have a story component to it. So if I had bought the season pass for Evil Within, I would be stoked. Looking ahead, like playing this first one. And I wonder if it's smart to kind of introduce people to a story-based thing like Revelations, to bring that back into the conversation, where, I played the first Revelations, and this one seems to be more story-focused, but I'm not sure how it all ties in. So maybe I'll just try that first episode, and then, oh, wow, I really like this, and so I'm going to play the rest of them.
Yeah.
So you are pumped. When are we getting the next assignment?
We do not know.
Don't even know yet.
I know, it hurts. The first one was called Assignment. Second one is called The Consequence.
Oh, okay. So they're not all called The Assignment. Interesting.
Yeah. So the end is really cool. Again, I'm not going to spoil it, but it is so cool.
Does it have any replay value, or do you
get New Game Plus?
You get New Game Plus, just so you can run back in.
So, and I didn't find all of the secrets. They're a little tricky, and the only way it's you collect pieces of a letter. And the only way to read that letter is if you get all the pieces.
Okay.
So and that's definitely, I'm hungry for lore.
Right.
So I'm definitely gonna go back and try to collect that.
Okay. So you'll do that, and then you'll be super prepped for, what do we think? How long has it been since Evil Within? It's been like
came out in October.
5 months.
Yeah.
Okay, so we maybe like 2 months or something before we get the next chapter.
Hopefully. Yeah.
And we'll be back, and hopefully you'll have the pieces all put together. Yes. And thank you for not spoiling too much. I appreciate that. And the fans appreciate that as well.
Cool.
All right, get back to it.
I will.